Phil Jones made the trek down to the Rogers Centre to talk about the changing turf. Ball is life for not only Kyle Forster, but also the Centennial Colts. Wait for it. Slam. Our very own Braydon Holmyard still remembers how to play volleyball. Well, sort of. Welcome to the show. I'm here with my girl Lo. I'm hand carved, keeping you in the know. Lauren and I were absolutely sick of all the man-boy mugs mucking up the desks, so we're here to take over. Buckle up, buckle in, and get ready for the superior dynamic duo.
You can say that again, Han.
The superior dynamic duo.
What better way to treat these fine folks on this lovely evening than gracing them with the presence of the real backbone behind this operation? To start things off, we head to Campus Ice Center in Oshawa, where the UOIT Ridgebacks take on the U of T Lady Blues in CIS hockey action. Early in the first period, Shalane White takes the penalty and Cassidy Naboris takes advantage on the power play to make it 1-0 for UOIT. Later in the first period, Alex Friggin takes a tripping penalty, but UOIT was able to hold U of T off the board. Such a good defensive play there, Han.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
In the second period, Chanel Doucette takes the puck across the line, cuts across the middle, and snipes one short side.
I think that's where Mom hides the peanut butter. Maybe.
Could be. That's 2-0 for the Ridgebacks. Later in the period, shorthanded, Chanel Doucette once again gets in on the partial break, undresses the goalie, and slides one in for her second of the game. She was all over the place in this one here.
Kids were loving it.
It would be 4-1 UOIT. Early in the third, the Varsity Blues looking for a comeback when Julia Saluska rips one from the point to cut the lead in half and make things 4-2. But the Ridgebacks would prove to just be too much in this one, as Michaela Cavell would score in the final goal of the game to seal the deal at 6-2. Bowmanville native Chanel Doucette led the Ridgebacks offense with 2 goals at the end of 60. U of T's Julia Saluska was the lone contributor for the Lady Blues. This win sends the Ridgebacks into 3rd place in the OUA standings, while the Varsity Blues are 4th, just 1 point behind.
The cross-country season is off and running. The OCAA Provincial Championships occurred this past weekend with the Centennial Colts chasing after a spot in Nationals. After a great start to the season, the team has found success, making top 10 rankings of the Canadian National Men's Cross Country for a 2nd year in a row. Head coach John Stevenson spent his first year with the team, and although they didn't book their ticket to Sault Ste. Marie, they still did their best.
For provincial championships, it was a great day, and our team did as well as they could. I would not be telling the truth if I didn't say I was a little disappointed, but we did the best we possibly could today, and I'm proud of the team, all of them. I think, again, this team, we brought 6 male, 6 female here, which is 1 short of our maximum. They ran their hearts out today and did the very best they could, and I'm proud of each and every one of them. Overall, I think they had a brilliant season. It's always hard adjusting to a new coach, a new coaching philosophy. I make no bones about it. I'm a high-performance oriented coach, and for a number of them, that took a little adjustment. And so I'm proud of each and every one of them. It's been my privilege to coach them this year. And I just, some are graduating, and I hope they'll continue to run for the rest of their days. For the ones that come back, I'm really excited on what the future will hold.
I'm here at Seneca College where the men's and women's track and field teams were competing today. The women's team had a tough day and no one qualified for nationals, while the men's team had a bit of a better day with 3 of their runners qualifying for nationals. William Chemno finished 3rd, a step down from his 2nd place finish 2 weeks ago, while Alfred Pujadas finished 16th and Matthew Lozano finished 20th. These 3 men will move on to nationals and compete for Centennial. I'm Brendan Ferreira, back to you in the studio.
In all the excitement of back-to-back appearances in the ALCS by the Blue Jays, you may have forgotten, or just may not have been aware, that they installed a brand new state-of-the-art infield for the 2016 season. After 39 seasons of playing on rock-hard concrete, Toronto finally made the upgrade to an all-dirt infield at the Rogers Centre, once the Argos moved down the street to BMO Field.
We have an interesting story that developed this year where the Blue Jays used a brand new infield courtesy of Dura Edge. I had the opportunity to catch up with the president and founder of Dura Edge, Grant McNeill, from his home in Pittsburgh as he shed some light on the process of installing a brand new field here at Rogers Centre.
They went in and they cut the concrete the whole way down to the gravel, completely out, and would be about 10 or 12 inches. I don't really remember exactly. It was fairly thick, though, and then it was filled back up with sand up to within 4 inches of the surface, or 6 inches of the surface. And I don't know exactly my metric on that conversion, but it's 6 inches depth is the depth of the infield. And 3 days scheduled to put the infield in, and then they were going to play it. They were going to have a high school team practice on it, and then they were going to play an exhibition game on the 4th day, which is almost unheard of. I mean, to get an infield, a brand new infield, in and compacted properly so that you can play on it. You know, generally is process of watering and rolling, and it takes that time frame. Most guys would want to have 2 to 3 weeks from the time you put an infield in to the point where it's game ready. You know, watering it, nail boarding it, doing the daily maintenance. Well, I mean, he told me the schedule in like the first part of February or so, and I was like, holy moly, you know, this is going to be, you know, somewhat of a challenge. So I flew up there on the 28th or thereabouts of March. We had made the material, put the proper amount of moisture with it in the plants in Pennsylvania, and then we had to truck it all up there in like a 2-day period. So that was approximately 16 or 18 truckloads.
The Toronto Blue Jays open up their 2017 season on the road in Baltimore. The first home game will be April the 11th against the Milwaukee Brewers here at the Rogers Centre. With the new field in tow, it might be just a matter of time before Toronto gets himself some real grass. Reporting for Centennial Sports TV, I'm Phil Jones.
Coming up on Centennial TV, the Colts men's basketball team get on their horse to take on the visiting Knights, and we catch up with some Lax Bros and a little CIS action.
Tired of the same old you? At the SAC Fitness Center, we understand ugliness and fatness are genetic disorders, much like baldness or obesity, and it's only your fault if you don't hate yourself enough to do something about it. That's where we come in. Here at the SAC Fitness Center, we employ only the best and highest qualified trainers that will turn that Frankenstein you see in the mirror every morning into a Frankenfine. Of course, you'll still be you in a legal sense, but think of it as a thinner, more attractive, better you than you could ever become without us. So come on down and join the winning team, because here at the SAC Fitness Center, we're better than you, and we know it.
The Centennial Colts men's basketball team, I don't know what you're saying, hit the reboot button before the 2016 season as they added some fresh faces and a new head coach, Trevor Challenger. The Colts have had high expectations heading into this season with a good start, looking to make a run for gold when they host the OCAA Men's Basketball Championships in February. The team looked to improve their record to 3-1 when they took on the Fleming Knights at home on Friday. The Colts looking to maintain their early season momentum, and they would get off to a quick start in this one. That's Marco Curic to Malik Hyde for the first bucket of the game. Colts up early. After finding an open spot, Darian Sparks would respond right back with a 3 for the Knights. The Colts would reap the benefits with a nice high-low pass from Curic, finding Hyde yet again for a big jam inside. Hyde would notch a double-double in this one. Then the strees just started raining down for both sides' hand. Curt would hit one from top of the key. Fleming would come right back with Jaquan Levine hitting one of his 3 triples in the game. Not soon after, Levine would hit again with a deep bomb from straight away. Then Curt would not be outdone. He would come right back with yet another 3 for the Colts. Curt would have 24 in this game. The fast break would play a major part for Centennial in this game. Hyde with the fast break slam. Then off the sweet dish from Alex Hageriles, Jordan Burton would get the layup. A couple possessions later, Hyde with yet another nice dunk. The Colts were feeling it going into halftime with a 22-point lead, score of 46-24.
They're looking like the Monstars out there.
Oh, they are. The home team picked up the defense in the second half. That's Paul Walwyn with the deflection. Josh McFarland follows that up with a nice steal on the sideline. Then there's the pesky McFarland yet again stripping the ball from Sparks and cashing in the easy lay-in. Colts up 71-36 after 3. Early in the fourth, the Colts had it wrapped up, so they decided to bring out the theatrics. Curt can't get that alley-oop to drop, but a couple possessions later, off of a broken full-court press, Hyde would throw it up to Curt, who would slam it down hard. The big man-to-big-man connection was effective all game long for Centennial. The Colts would close out this game with a 35-point win over the Knights. Curt had 4 threes and 24 points to go along with 8 rebounds. Hyde played big with 12 points and 12 rebounds, while Levine came out to play for the Knights in a losing effort, but he had 28 points and 6 boards. Well, Han, we know how the team made out against Fleming, but who doesn't want to know even more about the game? As the kids are saying these days, ball is indeed life.
You know, Lo, that is a motto that I personally do live by. And I know the two who are just going to give us a great analysis of the game, our very own Braydon Holmyard and Quinton Amundsen.
Thanks, guys. Braydon, that was a heck of a basketball game. We were both entertained. The offense was great. The defense was great. Close to a capacity crowd here, and I think they all went home happy.
Yeah, it's a great start for the Colts. The players were definitely happy as well after a big victory like that. They're in the bottom of the East Division last year. As we all know, the season didn't go as they would have liked. They bring in a new coach now, Trevor Challenger. It's really changed the culture of this team, and playoffs might be a little bit too early. They're only 2-1, but they sure look like a playoff team right now.
Oh, absolutely. And what really surprised me, besides the creative offense, which we'll talk about, was the great defense. There just wasn't a lot of room for Fleming to get that easy offense. Every single point that they got, and they didn't get a lot, they had to work for.
Definitely, Centennial Colts were all over them defensively, and not just back in their own end, but they put a lot of pressure on them. Even in the first quarter, you saw at least 2 or 3 Centennial Colts on the opposing end's half just to start when the Knights were bringing up the ball very early on, and they carried that tradition in throughout the whole game. They didn't give them any room to breathe, like you said. They were a bunch of water bugs out there, I like to say. They really smothered their opponents, and even inside in their own key, we saw a lot of fouls tonight, and that's just because I think that the Colts didn't want to give anything easy. They wanted to make Fleming earn it from the line, and it worked out in their favor in the end.
And I definitely think you could constitute this as a team win, because there were players that started the game that were dominant, and then there was players that came off the bench that definitely made a big impact for the home team.
Definitely. Well, when it started off, I think we both agree that Marco Curic really set the tone early. The 6'10", who's listed as a guard and forward, set the tone, and he's only in his second year, but he played like a senior right out there. They like to give him the ball at the top of the three-point line to set the plays, and he'll either use his big reach over the defender to jack up a 3, and he hit them more often than not tonight, or he'll work the ball into the key to one of his opponents. But the ball movement was great tonight. Like you said, a lot of guys came in the fourth quarter and played really well. Dennis was one of those. He was phenomenal. He was a workhorse out there. So there was definitely 15 guys got this victory tonight.
Braydon, the great thing about the raucous home atmosphere is that the fans were really buoyant after the game. There was this one character that came up to us before shooting this segment that just was really feeling it. Just take a look at this video right here.
Look at the video here. He's really in quite the groove. I definitely give him at least a 9 out of 10 out of this performance. Like you hit the nail on the head right here. The home crowd here has been great so far, and hopefully they can keep that momentum going and carry it into the playoffs this season.
All I know is that I just wish I had rhythm and moves like that, because a little bit. No, that's as best as I could do. We're going to send it back to you in the studio.
Back to you guys, please.
University of Toronto lacrosse taking on visiting Laurentian Voyageurs on a cold, rainy night at Varsity Stadium. Let's get right into it. Sam Postma opens the scoring, ripping one past Riley McGillis, 1-0 Voyageurs. The lead wouldn't last long as Toronto captain Mitch DeSnew fights off the defender and rips Twine to even score 1-1. Later in the first, Jason Barnable puts Toronto ahead, taking the feed and fires one top cheese where Mama hides the natty lights. 2-1 Blues. DeSnew and Barnable keep the goals coming in the first, though. First, DeSnew finds the back of the net again to make it 3-1. Then Barnable takes the pass down low from Andrew Mason, turns and scores from a sharp angle for his second of the game, 4-1 U of T. The Blues are loving it. Barnacle would complete the first quarter hat trick with some slick stick work, flipping one 5-hole on Laurentian goalie Ian Walters. U of T's 6 unanswered goals in the first quarter were courtesy of Barnable and DeSnew. Skip ahead to the third, Voyager down 3. Santos with a quick release goal. Slow it down for you. Santos in the middle takes a pass and Walters had no chance on that one. Not long after, Mason walks out from behind the net, taking advantage of the lazy D for the first goal of the night. Laurentian would battle back again. Mike Cussman tickles the Twine, cutting the lead to 9-7. Then Neil McEnroy puts one off McGillis and in. The Voyageurs just down by 1. Barnable, though, would not be denied scoring his 4th goal a game once again from the side of the net. This time he hits him with a sneaky bounce shot, the Whippy native putting the team on his back, 10-8 Blues. That would be as close as Laurentian would get as U of T would hang on for the 12-9 victory. Barnable with a huge game for the Blues, scoring 4 goals, adding 4 assists for an 8-point night, while Mitch DeSnew also recorded a hat trick with this one. Here's Barnable on the team getting off to a quick start.
I feel like it helps with the motivation. It got us momentum and it got the game flowing, and I think it just woke up the boys.
Play golf tomorrow. If we win that, we're going to be tied. So, well, it's a quick turnaround. We got a 1 o'clock game, so hopefully the guys are going to go to bed and get good rest in that. And but yeah, like you say, momentum. It's good. Come in with a win, come out of it with a win. Pardon me, and then go straight in. We played Guelph tight the first game of the year. Guys believe we can beat them, so we got to prove that.
I feel like we're going to play it like every other game. It is a big game for us. It's a must win. But I feel like if we go in just like it's any other game, we're going to have a great game and win it.
Wake up the boys! Coming up next, Braydon has the story of the kind-hearted volleyball coach, Mr. G, and Curt and Wade do what they do best, and rant about the CHL hockey.
Are you tired of getting ugly marks on your Centennial assignments? Mark sure was, so he decided to go and do something about it. Mark went to the Centennial Story Arts Library, and when he went there, he found books. Lots of books. Dozens of books. And when there's something that you can't find, check out the database and it will set you on the right path. If you need to print something, try using the printer, because this one actually works. After you do that, head over to the DVD corner, pick out a nice movie, and on your way out, grab a nice nap in the beanbag chairs first. For all of your needs and more at Centennial, check out the Story Arts Library.
Hockey season has just started, and Canadians everywhere are putting on their winter boots and pulling out their know-it-all opinions. I know 2 people who have more opinions than Tiger Williams has penalty minutes. That is our very own Curt Macgillivray and Wade Stevenson. In our newest segment, Contender vs. Pretender, the boys are fired up, as always, to tell you who is contending for a championship and who is simply pretending across the CHL.
Hey, hello, I'm Wade.
Hey, hello, I'm Curt, and today we bring you the Contenders Pretenders list for the CHL, that's the Canadian Hockey League teams. Today we're going to be looking at teams from the OHL, the QMJHL, and the Western Hockey League, the WHL, of course. Wade, why don't you get us started here? Who are some of your contenders for this season?
Well, I think let's start it off with the WHL. Prince George Cougars, they were ranked #1 team only a couple weeks ago. They dropped a little bit after a couple tough losses. They are still 11-2-1, and they are led by veteran Jansen Harkins of North Vancouver and North Shore Winter Club alum. So they are in good hands with their veteran leadership, Curt.
Yeah, that's no kidding there. Prince George definitely looking like a very strong team right now. Currently sitting at #4 on the list. But a team I want to talk about is the Erie Otters, a team that has lost a lot of talent over the last few years. Connor McDavid, Connor Brown. Connor Brown, obviously a Leaf now. Connor McDavid, Edmonton Oiler. looking like one of the best players in the NHL at the moment, but yet they still managed to make an appearance on this list. They are coming in at number 5. They sit at 8-3-1 right now. The Erie Otters somehow still get it done with.
That's a good debut to debut at number 5.
Team, we would be remiss to not talk about the London Knights. They have been the class of the OHL for quite a long time now. They're led by the Hunter brothers. What can we expect from the London Knights this year?
Well, I think you can almost, I wouldn't want to say assume, but expect that Matthew Tkachuk is going to be sent back to the London Knights, but by the Calgary Flames. So that will help them out. And they're also run by the Hunters, who seemingly know how to produce a powerhouse every single year, which is unfortunate for the rest of the teams in CHL.
Yeah, and you know, if everything goes right for London, maybe they get Mitch Marner back from the Leafs, and that would really put them over the top on their way to potentially another Memorial Cup.
Highly unlikely, Kurt, but hey, one can wish.
Hey, and people in London at the old Budweiser Stadium, or arena, whatever they're calling it now,
They're
they
getting
can
fired up.
They can dream
that
about
they
it.
could get Marner and Tkachuk back.
All right, so the number 1 team. We haven't even talked about the number 1 team on this list, right?
great.
They actually come from the Q, which we have not talked about at all. We've been sticking with the West in Ontario. We are talking about the Shawinigan Cataracts.
Shawinigan.
Yes, Wade, what can you tell me about Shawinigan?
Well, they are 11-1 right now. They are seemingly unstoppable, and they're led by a
defenseman of all people. That's right, Sammy Girard.
Second-round pick of Nashville.
And they know what they're doing when it comes to defensemen, but he's leading the way right now with 20 points right now on the back end. Shawinigan getting it done, that is for sure.
It's crazy.
Number 1.
And the host city for this year's Mem Cup is the Windsor Spitfires, and they managed to crack into the number 10 spot.
They're number 10.
They're more of a pretender in my book.
Yeah, no, I have to agree with you right now. I mean, look, in order to get to the Memorial Cup, you either have to win the Q, the Dub, or the O, or host it. Windsor is only getting in because they are the host. They would not be able to leapfrog the teams in front of them if they were not hosting the event.
Love it.
Anyway, that's all the time we have here on Contenders Pretenders. That's all you really need to know about the CHL season so far. It is just getting started, but we are full steam ahead for a
Buckle
Windsor
up.
Spitfires Memorial Cup in Windsor. That's all we have here today. I'm Curt Macgillivray. He's Wade Stevenson. Back to you guys.
Those boys sure know their CHL hockey, and they sure have their opinions. And all professional athletes have that one person who has had a big impact on their career, whether that be a coach, a dad, or for our Braydon Holmyard, his mom, the elite goaltender in the Holmyard family. Someone who has made them the athlete they are today. Student and athletes at St. Teresa of Lisieux Catholic High School may have that one person in common.
Every community has a hero. Someone who is well respected, who can make people laugh, whose kindness has no borders. For the last 10 years at St. Teresa of Lisieux Catholic High School, that someone has been Mr. G.
Right? I celebrate the kids. I celebrate their leadership. I celebrate their success. You know, for me, they're my little brothers and sisters. You're my little brother. So for me, when I see you guys, I'm a proud teacher, I'm a proud mentor, I'm a proud friend.
Except I'm your big brother because I'm a lot bigger than you.
I paid a visit to my old high school and to Mr. Gunwellis, who is celebrating his 10th year of teaching and coaching. He invited me onto the volleyball court to join the team I once played for. I wanted to see firsthand if the charisma, passion, love, humility, and humor was still there after all these years.
You should only clap twice.
Okay, I want to know, how are you able to maintain relationships with so many people in terms of your former students?
I start with rule number 1, right? And so that starts in the coaching, and it's respect, right? And having each other's back. And so if we follow through that, I think we can grow the relationship. And part of that is having alumni volleyball nights, having some of our alumni, they're very gracious of their time, spending their time back here, helping out the coach, you know, supporting our teams when we have tournaments. So, you know, we make those connections through social media, through just texting, and yeah.
Hundreds of hours of his own free time go towards supporting his students with no strings attached. Everyone who's been mentored by him knows that Mr. G will always be there.
I want to say thank you to Mr. Holmyard here. Braydon,
Thanks for having me. Have you seen the way that you were as a coach 10 years ago change now, or do you kind of stick to your guns?
Well, that's right. My name is Mr. G, the Guns. No, but the reality here is I was a lot crazier 10 years ago. I don't know if you remember when I coached you 10 years ago. I was loud. We had cheers on the bench. The best time, right? A little bit maturity in my coaching, but I like to have fun and I like energy, good energy and passion, right? And so that has never changed. And I enjoy working with every child that I've worked in the last 10 years.
Get ready for D-S-T-R-S-T-L! That's how it used to be.
The computer science teacher, coach, chaplain, and leader of STL pushes himself every single day to impact the thousands of young people in his community. He wants to make a difference, and so far, things have gone according to plan.
If you could talk to yourself 10 years ago, what would you say to yourself about what lies ahead for you?
You know what? Keep doing what you're doing. You know, stay true because you are in the best profession, and God has put you in this profession, right? And celebrate every moment. You know, you're very lucky to have this opportunity, and keep fighting for those kids.
For real, thank you for everything you've done for me and everybody else.
Thank you, Jake.
On behalf of every student who's been lucky enough to be a part of the last 10 years, cheers to you and to the next 10, Mr. G. For Centennial Sports TV, I'm Braydon Holmyard.
What great memories for our Braydon. And speaking of memories, here with our 2016 Spojo crew, we've had the worst of times, we've had the best of times, and we've seen Orly Rivard swim a lot, Wade interact with the WWE a lot, we've seen Phil Jones confused over the Da Vinci Code a lot, and all of that has been second to none. But honestly, who cares? Instead, here's a montage of us telling you who our favorite sports moments in history are.
Hi, I'm Quinton Amundsen, and growing up a Leafs fan, starting in 2006, my favorite memory is easily the 2013 playoffs. It's the only time I've ever seen the blue and white play in the playoffs, so it was absolutely amazing to see them get to Game 7. I know everybody knows that Game 7 was a bit of a disaster, but just the fact they got so far, some people thought that they were going to be swept, or maybe it was going to be 5 games, so the fact that they pushed a Boston team that went all the way to the Cup final, better than any of the other teams in the Eastern Conference, was pretty cool. So I'm very proud of that 2013 Leafs team.
Hi, I'm Holly McNeill with my favorite sporting moment. As a growing up a Leaf fan, I kind of have to go with the Leafs getting Austin Matthews first overall, simply because it was finally something good that happened to that organization. They seem to be full of bad luck and mistakes, so getting the first overall pick and something good finally is my favorite sporting moment as a Toronto sports fan.
My name is Braydon Holmyard, and my favorite athlete has too many moments to pick just one, so I'm going to take you over a full season. It's 2010, Nipissing in the OUAA hockey world, and Kyle Cantlin is the goaltender out of Barrie, Ontario. In 5 games, he picked up 4 penalty minutes and gave up 18 goals. That's my favorite moment.
Yeah, I'm Phil Jones. My favorite sports moment, hands down, WrestleMania 2. Bundy, Hogan, steel cage, my goodness. You thought the Hulkster was going to lose, but then he didn't. What a battle. I've been touched to my very soul every moment since I've seen that match. Hulk Hogan, a legend for all time. WrestleMania 2, don't you dare forget.
Hello, my name is Brendan Ferreira, and my favorite sporting moment comes to you from the Western Conference NHL playoffs, first round in 2011, Chicago versus Vancouver. Alex Burrows stops the clearing attempt in overtime and rips home the game winner. In doing so, he beats the Chicago Blackhawks, which puts Vancouver over that hump, and they make a run but don't win, unfortunately.
Hi, I'm Alex Arthur, and my favorite sports memory is when I played for the University of Dalhousie. It was the AUS tournament. We upset the favorites to win the championship that year, Acadia University, and we beat them by 30 points. So that's definitely one of my favorite sports memories.
Hello, my name is Sumit Salvi, and my favorite sports memory is the 2008 Champions League final, United versus Chelsea. The game went to penalties. Ronaldo steps up and misses. John Terry taking the winning penalty, and he missed. And then Nicolas Anelka takes his 7th penalty, and Van der Sar saves it. United won the Champions League, and they win it 50 years after the Munich air disaster.
Hi, my name is Mark Staniusz, and my favorite sports moment was when I was 7 years old, and it was Game 6 of the Stanley Cup Finals with the Dallas Stars against the Buffalo Sabres, and I was able to stay up well past my bedtime through the triple overtime until Brett Hull scored the game-winning goal.
Well, those will hit you right in the feels, Han. I know your favorite sports moment. It's the final Spojo game where we came third in our league. And if I remember correctly, you ended the season with a higher on-base percentage than all-star player Wade Stevenson?
Now, Lauren, that is absolutely correct. Not only was I the designated hitter, but I surprised everyone and their dogs with my switch hitting ability. Not a jaw left unhinged.
And if I've learned one thing in this industry, it's that a cute dog and a killer jawline will get you anywhere. That's all the time we have. Thank you to our committed viewers, our parents.
Shout out to Bon and Don.
Bless. For tuning in each week and giving us our record-breaking views. I'm Lauren, she's Hannah, and for the very last time, goodbye from Centennial Sports TV.